Hi, Darin Mangum here, the PPM Attorney. Today I've got my cryptocurrency attorney hat on, talking about cryptocurrency offerings, initial coin offerings, or ICOs, or blockchain-related offerings. This is the fourth video in a five-part series talking about different aspects of the securities laws and how they apply in this space. For those of you that are watching this that may not be in this space, a lot of these same principles apply. And so, again, whether you're doing a cryptocurrency offering or blockchain or not, a lot of these same principles apply if you're raising capital. And so you can certainly apply this to really any company that is raising capital, whether it's real estate or what have you. And so, but anyway, obviously we're talking about cryptocurrency because that is certainly a hot topic. Everybody wants to know about it. And, at least with my practice, we've had we've been certainly heavily involved in the space just in the past year or two, just because it's a hot area, right? So, and obviously my practice does, different times of different seasons. Sometimes oil and gas gets really hot because oil prices are high, or real estate or what have you. So, but anyway, regardless of whatever space you're in, we certainly can help you. But in this video, this is the fourth video, and today we're going to talk about public offerings of securities. In the last video, we talked about private offering exemptions that apply. A lot of clients, they get frustrated with some of the limitations of Rule 506C, for example, because there's only so many accredited investors in the world, or at least in the United States, and so they want to be able to sell the tokens like they're doing offshore elsewhere, where they're outside the United States. They just want to be sold to anybody. Anybody wants to buy $100 of whatever cryptocurrency you're selling, and sign up. And so really the avenues that can be used for that, you're talking about a public offering. And, again, the securities laws are there to, again, protect investors. And so, but that can certainly be used. And, you can, really go about a public offering three different ways. Certainly the first way is a traditional IPO type offering under like an S1 type offering. That's basically a full registration type offering. The second way is a Regulation A plus, or Regulation A, which has been recently revamped and revised. Really, Regulation A, I think, is the most viable way to potentially raise capital. And I'll talk about that in a second. But the third way is, doing it 100% offshore. If all of your capital is raised offshore, you can really rely upon Regulation S. In fact, referring to my previous video, certainly you can accommodate a Regulation D offering with a Regulation S offering. Obviously, that's maybe probably more than we want to get into in this video, but we can talk about it if you want to pursue that. But Regulation S applies when you're just raising 100% of your capital offshore, and some clients have decided to do that, not bring in any U.S. investors. And so, but most of my clients, they want to be able to tap the U.S. market. That's why we're talking to them. And so, when it comes to a public offering, your traditional IPO is certainly available, but it's plan on a 9-month long, really expensive process. Regulation A is really turned out to be a very I wouldn't say it's a fast track, but it certainly is faster and a little more streamlined. When it comes to registering an offering, and so. Typically it's a fraction of the cost of a traditional IPO, and you're able to solicit investors, non-accredited investors as well as accredited, and so there's there's two different tiers. Most clients that are doing Regulation A, we're doing Regulation A work for. They're doing a Tier 2 offering. The advantage of a Tier 2 offering, which means basically you're raising between 20 to 50 million. But the advantage of a Tier 2 offering is that it's considered a federally covered security, and therefore you only have to register with the SEC. Whereas if you're doing just a Tier 1 under Regulation A, you've got to you have to not only register with the SEC but also with the states, and so really regulation Tier 1 isn't being used by very many people, and so because it's just a longer, more convoluted registration process, and so. But yeah, once you do get approved, and again, plan on at least a 4 to 6 month window. But once you do get approved for that, then you're really good to go. You can raise capital from any non-accredited investor. I mean, there's there's some limitations on non-accredited investors can only invest a certain percentage of their net worth, but by and large, that's the most viable way to go. Again, assuming you don't want to just rely upon accredited investors like I talked about in the last video. And so Regulation S, it's certainly available, but it's really tricky because you have to make sure 100% of your offering is being done offshore, and and sometimes it's hard to comply with that because you've got stragglers that come in from the United States, and it's a very tricky exemption to try to comply with. There is no filing required, and so it's not like you're getting some sort of official form filed or anything like that. So, but anyway, these are some avenues that you can certainly consider when you're looking to do your cryptocurrency offering. Again, you can feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to answer any specific questions you have about your deal. You can certainly feel free to comment in the comments section below, or go ahead and like this video or subscribe if this is helpful for you. And anyway, I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.